Pink and gold draped the country club ballroom. Guests mingled, but the mood belonged to Carol Whitfield.
Still no ring, I see. Real soldiers have husbands, you know. Or are you just playing army?
If only they knew what I really do for a living. I am focused on my work and Carol. It keeps me busy.
Filing papers in some government office? That's not a career, dear. A husband would give your life meaning.
Mom, please? This is my shower, and you are embarrassing Catherine.
I am just being honest. She needs a dose of reality.
Excuse me, I need something to drink.
Guests exchanged tight smiles and whispered. To them, Catherine was the family project that never quite succeeded. Catherine stood alone at the punch bowl, her face a polite mask of composure. The party laughed around her, but she was not part of it. The bridal shower moved on to a game of he said, she said. Carol presided over the table like a queen holding court.
Here is a juicy one. What's the most important quality in a spouse, Olivia? Let's hear your wisdom. But Catherine, you wouldn't know, dear. Maybe someone here can enlighten you.
Loyalty and a sense of duty. That's what matters.
Duty. Is that what you call it when a man won't propose? How romantic.
Under the lace tablecloth, Catherine's knuckles whitened. Her smile didn't move.
She has no idea what duty means. None of them do.
Mom, let's just move on. The next question is...
Oh, she's fine. Catherine's used to being the punchline. Right, dear?
Around the table, a few guests forced laughs. Most looked at their laps. Catherine did not blink. Catherine excused herself from the game table and slipped into the carpeted hallway, the party noise fading behind a heavy door. She pulled out her phone. The screen flashed with an encrypted alert from a number she recognized instantly. The message read, "Priority. Real-world situation. Stand by." Below that, a terse line. "Developing situation in the Sea of Japan. Possible recall to NMCC within hours."
They might need me at the command center within hours. I have to stay ready.
She pocketed the phone and drew a slow, steadying breath. The mask had to hold a little longer. She caught her reflection in a glass door and adjusted her collar. The woman staring back looked like a general, not a victim.
Just get through the party. Then you can be who you really are.
She walked back into the ballroom, the polite smile sliding back into place as if it had never left. No one had noticed her absence. Carol was still holding court, and the party hummed on obliviously. As the shower continued, a younger cousin leaned toward Catherine across the table, her voice curious but gentle.
I work for the government. Administrative support. Nothing exciting.
She pushes papers. A steady job, if unambitious. But we're proud, aren't we?
The cousin looked away, her curiosity silenced. Around them, no one corrected Carol. Then Catherine rose, walked to the gift table, and placed a single white envelope on the growing pile.
I told Olivia to open it later. She'll understand.
Is that your gift, Catherine? A card? How? Practical. Let me guess, a generic gift voucher.
Catherine didn't reply. She returned to her seat, the polite smile back in place, and the envelope was lost under a mound of lavish gifts.
If she only knew the value of what I do, and the real gift in that envelope.
The party continued around her, the laughter loud and oblivious. But Catherine was already waiting for a different kind of call. Olivia rose from her chair, lifting a glass of champagne. The chatter died down as the bride prepared to speak.
Thank you all for sharing this day with me. I am so lucky to have such a loving family.
And a toast to Catherine here. She proves a woman can survive without a husband. Barely.
A scattering of nervous laughter broke the silence. Olivia's smile tightened, but she didn't speak.
20 years of service, and I'm still the punchline at a bridal shower.
A guest whispered to her neighbor. Is Catherine really never married? Carol's ears pricked up.
Never. Too busy with her little government job, but we don't hold it against her.
Mom, that's enough. Please.
I am only being honest. Someone has to tell her before she ends up alone.
Catherine's face remained a perfect mask, but beneath the tablecloth, her fingernails bit into her palm. Under the tablecloth, the phone on Catherine's lap lit up with a second priority message. The words were blunt. Sitrep worsening. Stand by for extraction.
An extraction team. They're moving faster than I expected. I have to stay ready.
She powered off the screen, her pulse quickening, but her face showed nothing but pleasant attention.
Now, let's play a little bingo. Questions about Olivia's future. This should be fun. First square. How many children should Olivia have? Catherine, you should take notes, assuming anyone ever.
I think Olivia will be a wonderful mother, however many children she chooses.
Of course, dear. But we're talking numbers. Try to keep up.
I command battalions. I can survive a parlor game. Barely.
The game droned on. Catherine marked her card automatically, while her phone buzzed once more against her thigh, ignored but not forgotten. Catherine murmured something about a headache and slipped away a third time. Retreating to a small anteroom off the hall, she activated her encrypted phone and pressed the speed dial. The screen lit up with a secure connection.
Knox, we've been trying to reach you. Sea of Japan is hot. Joint staff needs you at the NMCC in 90 minutes.
I am at a family event. What's the situation?
A car is already en route to your location. We've pinged your coordinates. Be ready in 15.
Copy that. I'll be ready.
She terminated the call and drew a breath so deep it seemed to straighten her spine.
It's time. No more hiding.
When she walked back into the ballroom, her gait was different. Taller, broader, the stride of a commander entering a briefing. She took her seat, the pleasant smile still in place, but something dense and serious had settled behind her eyes.
Do you remember when Catherine got lost at the mall as a child? We found her crying in a toy store. Poor thing.
Carol's laugh boomed, expecting the room to join. A handful of guests managed weak smiles. The rest stared at their plates.
I was 8, and I wasn't crying. I was looking for the security office.
Details. Details. The point is, you've always needed someone to rescue you. Still do, I imagine.
I've led soldiers under fire. I don't need her rescue or her pity.
Mom, that was decades ago. Please, just drop it.
Oh, she's sensitive. That's always been her problem.
A low, guttural rumble, the unmistakable idle of a heavy government vehicle, bled through the French doors, hushing the string quartet. Catherine's head turned toward the sound with the instinct of a predator catching a scent. She knew. She drew a single, steadying breath, laid her napkin beside her plate, and squared her shoulders like armor being locked into place. A guest near the tall French windows pointed outside, voice trembling. A military car had pulled up to the club entrance. Every head turned. Through the glass, the black sedan sat, an army flag flapping, a jarring sight among the party decor. Carol stopped mid-sentence, squinting at the commotion. Her voice, for the first time, trailed into uncertain silence. The ballroom doors swung open. A Marine major in dress blues entered, chest full of ribbons, moving with unbroken purpose. He scanned the room and walked directly toward Catherine's table, his path cutting through the frozen party. Guests shrank aside like startled birds. Whispers spread. Why was this Marine major here? Staring at Catherine. Catherine rose slowly, her face now wiped clean of every trace of the pleasant, deferential guest.
Young man, are you lost? This is a private bridal shower.
The major ignored Carol completely, his eyes fixed on Catherine with an intensity that silenced every whisper. He halted 3 feet from her, heels clicking together with a crisp, echoing snap that hung in the air. Then, with a brutal precision, the major's white-gloved hand snapped to his brow in a salute that silenced every breath.
General Knox, ma'am.
Gasps erupted across the room. Olivia's champagne flute hovered midair, forgotten as her mouth fell open in pure shock. Catherine returned the salute with swift, Familiar ease, a gesture she had performed countless times on distant airfields and in briefing rooms.
Major.
Apologies to the bride for the interruption. The Joint Staff requires you at the National Military Command Center within the hour. A critical situation developing in the Sea of Japan needs your immediate attention at your Operations Directorate.
General, what kind of joke is this?
The car is ready, ma'am. We need to leave immediately.
I am sorry, Liv. I have to go now.
She picked up her clutch, the room sinking into a dense silence. Even the chandelier crystals seemed to stop swaying.
So you are a general? This is a real job then.
Carol's voice cracked. The Major turned to her with a gaze as level as a gun sight.
Ma'am, General Knox is the Senior Operations Director for the Joint Staff at the Pentagon. She has held that position for 14 months, overseeing all global military operations. She wears 1 star on her shoulder, a Brigadier General, and she earned every ounce of it.
Catherine said nothing. She stood with an unnerving stillness, letting his words sink into the frozen room. A guest's whisper cut the air. "Oh my God. She's a war hero." Another voice, louder. "Carol, you've been calling her a paper pusher all afternoon."
I didn't know.
You never cared to know.
Carol's hand fluttered to her throat. The blood had drained from her face, leaving it ashen, her mouth opening and closing without sound. Catherine turned back to Olivia, her expression softening for a moment.
I am so proud of you, Liv. The gift is for you. Open it later.
She gestured to the white envelope still buried among the lavish presents, a promise meant to be kept.
Catherine, I am so sorry about my mother.
It's not your fault. We'll talk later. Enjoy the rest of the party, everyone.
Without another word, she turned and walked toward the door, Major Harrison falling into step beside her. Carol sat frozen, mouth agape. Catherine's eyes never strayed to her. Not even for a heartbeat. The heavy doors closed behind them with a solid, definitive thud. Inside, the silence shattered as a waiter's tray slipped from trembling hands. Silverware crashed to the floor, and no one moved to pick it up. The black staff car hummed away from the country club, its engine a low, steady thrum. Catherine settled into the leather seat, accepting a secure tablet from the Major without a glance at the fading clubhouse.
Ma'am, the Pacific Fleet is on alert. We have credible reports of aggression near the Senkaku Islands. Your Operations Directorate is needed immediately.
Patch me through to Admiral Lee. I'll coordinate the response from here and get me a real-time feed of the J8 sector.
Her voice was calm, clipped, with no trace of the meek woman who'd endured a bridal shower just minutes before. Back in the ballroom, the party had collapsed into a mortified silence. Carol sat limp in her chair, fanning herself with a crumpled napkin, while Olivia wiped at her eyes.
I had no idea. She should have told me. How was I supposed to know?
A guest's voice cut through the hush. Maybe because you never listened, Carol. You never let her speak.
You ruined my shower, Mom. You humiliated her, and you ruined it.
Don't be dramatic. I was just being honest. Someone has to tell the truth around here.
But the guests were already gathering their things, murmuring behind cupped hands. The pink and gold decorations seemed to mock the wreckage. No one looked at Carol. Catherine strode into her Pentagon office. She shrugged her civilian jacket onto the visitor's chair without a backward glance. In the mirror of her closet, she pulled on the blue uniform jacket. The single silver star on the shoulder board caught the low light.
This is where I belong, not at a bridal shower.
Aides filed in. She bent over the map table, issuing orders that sent destroyers toward the Sea of Japan. For hours, her face was lit only by the cold blue glow of monitors. The crisis demanded every neuron. Her personal phone stayed buried at the bottom of her bag. Its 3 vibrations went unnoticed. At the country club, the last guests trickled out, their whispers hissing like steam from a kettle.
You never even let her speak, Mom. Not once.
She lied to us all these years, pretending to be some office clerk.
She tried. You never listened, and now we've lost her.
3 days later, Carol sat in her living room, a half-empty coffee cup cooling beside her. Her phone pinged with a message from a bridge friend. The link read, "Local military news. Brigadier General Knox summoned to NMCC during bridal shower." She scrolled with growing horror. The article described how the general had been interrupted at a bridal shower and departed to lead critical operations. Below the article, a comment read, "That aunt should be ashamed of herself. Imagine embarrassing a general."
This is Catherine's fault. She never told me. She made me look like a fool.
You never let her speak, Mom. Not once, and now everyone knows.
I don't care what people think. I was only telling the truth.
But her hands were shaking, and she couldn't meet Olivia's eyes. A week later, at a family barbecue, Carol stood alone near the fence. Whispers rose from every cluster of relatives, and none of them were friendly.
One relative finally said it. "We saw the article, Carol. Maybe you should apologize."
The Christmas party at Carol's house was subdued. Catherine hadn't come, and several relatives had declined. Carol's cheer was brittle.
She's too busy playing general. I suppose we're not important enough.
The guest nodded politely and retreated. Around Carol, the laughter was thin, and no one met her eyes. In January, Olivia asked Catherine to meet. The coffee shop was quiet, with soft jazz playing. Catherine arrived in civilian clothes, her expression cautious.
Kat, I've been wanting to talk. I'm sorry about my mom. I am not her.
I know, Liv. You never were.
I don't want to lose you. You are the most impressive person I know. Please don't disappear.
You don't have to choose sides, Liv.
I am starting a family soon. I want you to be part of my child's life.
Then she whispered, "Will you be the godmother?" Catherine didn't answer. She just held Olivia's hand.
I'll do it. For you and for the child. Not for your mother.
Thank you, Kat. You have no idea what this means to me.
A week later, Carol's phone rang. A cousin had already spread the news. Carol's face whitened as she dialed.
Olivia, how could you? After what she did to me, you make her godmother?
She didn't do anything, Mom. You did this with every joke and sneer. I won't let you poison my family.
I won't have that woman anywhere near my grandchild. You hear me?
Then you won't be in my child's life much either. It's my child, not yours. Goodbye, Mom.
Carol heard the click and stared at the blank screen, her hand trembling. No one was on her side.
She'll never understand, and I don't need her to anymore.
At the next family barbecue, Catherine was absent. Carol sat alone on the patio, untouched plate in hand. She never apologized. Catherine never returned to an event Carol hosted. A year later, a popular military magazine ran a feature, "From Bridal Shower to Battle Command, the story of Brigadier General Catherine Knox." The article recounted the bridal shower interruption, her rapid promotion, and her reputation as a decisive leader. Carol saw the copy left on a waiting room table and felt the blood drain from her face. She couldn't escape it. At her next bridge club meeting, a friend tapped the magazine and asked loudly, "Carol, isn't this your niece? You never mentioned she was a general."
We're not close. She's a very busy woman.
Another lady added, "Oh, I read she's godmother to her cousin's baby. That's lovely." The words were kind, but Carol's smile turned to stone.
Yes, well, let's focus on the game, shall we?
Elsewhere, Catherine stood at a podium in full Army service uniform, receiving a commendation for her service. In her acceptance speech, she thanked her commanders, her troops, and a woman named Olivia. She did not mention Carol. In the audience, Olivia sat with her husband, their baby girl cooing in her lap. Olivia's eyes shone with tears of pride. The christening day arrived. Sunlight streamed through the stained glass, painting the stone floor in jewel tones. Catherine stood at the baptismal font, baby Elizabeth cradled in her arms. Her Army service uniform was immaculate, the silver star catching the light. Olivia beamed beside her husband. In the third pew, Carol sat stiff and silent, her face a tight mask.
I will.
Her eyes met Olivia's. Across the font, a silent understanding passed, a bond forged in fire, not blood. At the reception afterward, relatives flocked to Catherine, praising the godmother and cooing over the baby. Carol stood apart, cake untouched on her plate.
You clean up well, I'll give you that.
Thank you, Carol.
No more. Catherine turned away and walked to Olivia, who was adjusting the baby's gown. Carol was left standing alone, her thin smile crumbling. She was no longer the center of anyone's world, and she knew it. Carol slipped out the side door of the church hall, the heavy oak closing softly behind her. No one followed. Olivia noticed the empty space where her mother had stood, and simply shook her head. There was nothing left to say.
Thank you for being here, Kat. It means the world to me.
I wouldn't have missed it. She's a lucky girl.
They embraced, and this time, it was not a polite peck. It was a real hug, held long enough to mean something. Driving home, Catherine's mind drifted from that first humiliating shower to this moment of quiet triumph.
I didn't need to yell. I just needed to be myself.
She smiled, the street lights flickering across her face in a steady rhythm. The weight was gone. Her phone buzzed, a priority message from the joint staff. She glanced at it and set it aside.
The job will always be there. Tonight, I am just Catherine Ant, godmother, winner.
In her Pentagon office, morning light slanted across the desk. Catherine tapped a final command and leaned back in her chair. Her eyes found the framed photograph, the christening, baby Elizabeth cradled in her arms, sunlight through stained glass.
This is my family, the one I chose, and the one that chose me.
Her silver streak was longer now. A new commendation ribbon sat among the rows of decorations. An aide knocked and announced that the briefing would begin in 5 minutes. Catherine nodded, straightening her uniform jacket. The single star on her shoulder gleamed. She touched the photograph lightly, then rose, her posture coiled with purpose. She walked down the corridor, staff officers falling into step around her. The flag patch on her shoulder was centered over her heart. She was part of something larger, built with her own hands, shaped by those who trusted her. She did not look back, fade to black as she walked forward, her silhouette dissolving into the light. Months later, a television flickered in Carol Whitfield's silent living room. She sat in her armchair, the remote balanced on her lap. The news anchor's voice filled the room. And in Pentagon news, Brigadier General Catherine Knox has been nominated for a 2nd star. You may remember her from the viral bridal shower story a few years ago. Carol's face tightened. Her hand jabbed the power button. The screen went black, swallowing the room in silence. She sat in the dark, the only sound the dull tick of a grandfather clock. No phone calls, no visitors. Cut to black. Carol never apologized. Catherine never returned to an event Carol hosted. They remain family, but on Catherine's terms. A final still. On Catherine's Pentagon desk, the christening photograph rested beside a small American flag. The end.